in San Francisco, headed to Curry Pizza House. Amazing venue, QSR, really, really good pizza. They're blowing up. All right, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm Preston.
Nice to meet you.
What was your name? Asila, that's a cool name. Then they're franchising. So the problem they're having with growth is that their franchisees are having a hard time grasping hospitality, the training, the systems part of it, the importance of it, and setting down the philosophy and the psychology of it. And so that's where we're coming in. We do this all the time with franchisees where we help the owners convey the message, give them the tools, the systems and the training and the leadership development to be able to actually instill what their vision is. I'm excited to see what they're working with and get in front of all of their franchisees and connect the dots for them. Because once you connect the dots, you see their eyes light up and they're like, oh, this is what we were looking for. So excited to see what this looks like. All right, so this is chicken tikka and white garlic sauce, right?
Right, and onions and tomatoes. Right.
This might be the best piece of pizza I've ever had. I had Curry Pizza House for the first time. I didn't know what to expect. You know, it's like Indian food mixed with pizza, and it was the best pizza I've ever had. Like, it's a genius idea. They've obviously been very successful. They have 42 locations, but yeah, they're killing it. Food market is saturated. If you don't have good hospitality and good guest experience, they're just gonna go to the other pizza place across the street. We really wanna focus on the guest experience because again, you're running a restaurant, you have 1,000 things to focus on. You start focusing on the wrong things, but what you have to do is really hyper-focus on the right things to get the growth that you want, just getting them realigned. It's always awesome when you see them go, oh, right? The light switch goes on. They're like, so simple. I got Steve coming in. Steve's our P&L optimizer, but he's also an amazing leadership development person because he's been in the industry for over 20 years. He's been a GM, area manager, floor manager, all those things for so long in his life that he knows exactly how to motivate and speak to managers. So we're gonna go down there and give them a big adrenaline shot of like how to do this, why to do this, and keep them motivated. You can connect with your staff, especially as an owner to a leader, especially if you're having those hard conversations. If you can be like, dude, look, I get it, right? Like, I screwed up too. There's been times where I wasn't good either. I'm just like saying like, this is an opportunity for you to get better, right? So really touching down on that vulnerability is huge with your team. Make yourself human and they'll respect you more. But you're gonna have to delegate in order for you to become an owner, not an operator, right? You wanna be an owner, which means you wanna be executing the vision. You wanna be growing your restaurant and figuring that out versus working in your restaurant, rolling up your sleeves. Like, is that gonna be required? Yeah, of course, but you don't wanna do it all the time because you can't rely on your managers to do it at a high level or they can't be consistent. So what I do is I write down my day for a whole entire day, and you can do this for a week. And now this is a pain in the butt. I'm gonna be really honest with you. But if you're serious about delegation and your time, which your time should be very valuable to you. Anybody here not value their time? Yeah, we all value our freaking time. It's very, very, very limited. Write down what you're doing throughout the day, and then look at it and go, what do I absolutely have to do in order to, that's in my day in the job, right? For example, you have to go to the gym. Right? You can't have your manager go to the gym for you. So you have to do that. But there's a lot of things you'll realize that you don't have to do that you can have your manager do that can take a huge chunk of time off of your plate, which is absolutely crucial for yourself. And also, give this to your managers. I want to see what you're doing. Because one thing I see all the time, Steve could be a witness to this, is that managers, you're like asking them to do things and execute things. They're like, I don't have time, Preston. I don't have time. Are you kidding me? I'm running around all day. But then when you have them fill this out, you're like, okay, you are busy, but you're doing a lot of busy work. You're doing a lot of back and forth. You're doing a lot of you're putting out fires. I'm gonna show you how to organize your day so you can be more productive, have an easier day, and then we can put some other things on your plate and make this restaurant more productive. So it's a really cool tool. I want you to write down an action plan. At least one thing that you learned today, and then an action plan on how you can implement it in your restaurant. So at least one thing that you learned today, and then an action plan on how you're going to implement your restaurant as soon as possible. Focusing on developing your people. How can I make them the best version I want to make them the best version of themselves in order to make them the best employee for my business, right? What is your goal? What are your hopes? What are your dreams? I always tell them like, don't try and like sugarcoat it. Because that's what people do. They don't want to tell you because they're embarrassed sometimes. Tell me what your goal is. I want to be a singer, right? Awesome. Yeah. Don't try and be like, here's 10 things I want you to start doing tomorrow. It's like, I want you to start doing this one. Just start smiling. I just want you to smile with every guest. I just want to see you smiling with every guest. If you can do that, we'll move on to phase 2, which is eye contact. And after that, let's start making a conversation with people. But just start off with small goals and get to big goals. But everyone tries to do that big thing, or it's like, whoa, and then it's like, why aren't you doing this? And how about do that? And start doing this, and when you do that, and they're like, okay, whoa, that's a lot. It's like small, all of a sudden you look and you're like, wow, it's 90 days later, and we have all of this stuff going on, all this hospitality, but it's all baby steps. That's why the 90-day game plan and the trainer is important. What's our 90-day goal? And we could break that into like week goals, weekly goals, and all that good stuff. I'm sure right now you can think probably have some employees that aren't the best, right? They can consider them bad employees to some degree. But I always tell people this, you have to train them first. You have to coach them. So you have to make sure you're training them right, and you have to coach them right in order for them to be really qualified as a bad employee or not working out in your business. Because if you don't do that, then you're not giving them a chance. So it's unfair, right? You're just kind of like throwing them. It's like being a boxing promoter, saying, I'm going to find the next best boxer. You see a guy on the street, and you're like, throw him in a ring with no training, and he gets his butt kicked, and you're like, what a terrible boxer. It's not a bad boxer. He wasn't trained right. And he wasn't coached right. So we want to train, coach, and then you can make that decision. And with coaching, you have the ability to say, okay, I'm giving you a couple chances here. Now it's going to be a verbal warning, now a written warning, and then you guide them into exiting the business. But we wanted to get rid of, again, do you want A players or C players? We want freaking A players. So we got to, and most people don't walk into a door as an A player, right? The untrained boxer. We have to train them, we have to coach them and turn them into an A player. And if it's just not going to happen, they're not willing to do it, then we got to show them the door, right? Because we got to protect our other A players. People are craving hospitality. They want it so bad because it doesn't exist anymore. It's so rare that when they get it, they're going to come back just for that. When I go to In-N-Out, I plan on 30 minutes for me to get my food. Fast food, I'm waiting 30 minutes. Longer than I would if I sat down at a restaurant to get my food, right? But I'm willing to wait because the guest experience, the burgers are amazing, but the guest experiences, and now my point is sometimes I go to In-N-Out when I don't want In-N-Out. Like I live down the street from an In-N-Out. So sometimes I'm like, what am I going to eat? And I'm like, oh my God, I just ate In-N-Out 2 days ago. But I go back to In-N-Out because I know I don't have to deal with any BS. I know exactly what I'm going to get. I have to wait 30 minutes, but when I get up there, they're going to smile. And to give you an example, I walked into an In-N-Out the other day and there's this kid, couldn't have been older than 17, and he's sweeping outside. And I walk up and he looks, as soon as he sees me, it's like he saw royalty, right? He's like, oh, sir, welcome. Thank you. Yeah. How's your day? Right? 17, sweeping. That's his attitude, right? That's the kind of experience you get with In-N-Out. If I go to In-N-Out and I order, I mess up the order, no problem. Yeah, okay, yeah, you got it. Absolutely. Oh, sure. And they're smiling the whole time when they're taking the order. If I go up there, I'm like, can I get an extra side of sauce? Oh, can I get one more? Yeah, absolutely. No problem. I know. It's like the Ritz-Carlton thing. I'm going because I know I'm not going to deal with any BS. I don't know that if I go to McDonald's, right? I don't know that if I go to Burger King. I do know that if I go to In-N-Out. So I'll go there more often just because of that. So really, really important. That's why hospitality is so important in the business we're in.
We've all established that training is probably the most important thing that you need when opening a restaurant. I would say, and almost any smart person would say, training, pre-shifts, right communication, and consistency. Not just the leaders can train, but your staff can train, because what happens if we're not there? Or what happens if we have to go away? We need to have a system or a program to train those team members, because it's important. And sometimes we're busy and we can't give the best training, right? Because we have a lot of things to do. And then sometimes we leave them with the team member and we're like, okay, train with them. And that team member doesn't know how to train. And they're just, yeah, follow me around and I'm gonna work and you're just gonna watch me or you're gonna help me. But they're not training. And so it's always good to, if you're not doing the training and your staff is, to find that best team member. And even if you're doing the training, elevate one of your team members, one of your staff, to start to do that. Take it off your plate. You shouldn't have to do that every time. And find that team member that is the most responsible, the most patient. Doesn't have to be the best, but they need to be responsible and they need to be patient. They need to be able to listen. They need to be able to not so much think about themselves, but understand that we're training this person. So this shift's gonna be a little slower for me today. I'm not gonna be able to move as fast because I have to take that time. And then a lot of times we might say, well, that's hard. How do I teach someone to train? It's not that hard because we just add so much to it. We add all these books. We put a bunch of documents, right? We want to keep it as simple as possible. We want to teach them, hey, all you're doing is you're going to follow our training and put what's in your head into their head. Okay? You know what a good team member is like. Remember that guy we hired last week? We had to fire him right away. We didn't want that. So make this team member, your perfect team member, the one that you want to work with. And if our leaders are training them, that's what I want you guys to think about is make that team member someone you're not going to have to worry about. We always say, oh my gosh, this team member, they don't listen or they don't do that. Train them that way. Make sure teams train them that way. Teach them to do that. And I'm going to go through just the 4 simple things of training. It's easy. 4 things. Well, it's not easy. It's simple. But we got to put the work in. We show them what to do. So if there's a new task, we're just going to show them. Here it is. And we're going to talk to them at the same time. Because that's what we do with our eyes and our mouth. Oh yeah, carrying this pizza? Yep, we're just going to do it like this. Right? We're going to do it like this. Now you try. And so I'm going to show them and I have them try. And we just need to be patient. We don't want to beat our team members up. We're going to be like, oh, come on, it's the 10th time you messed up. It's going to give them anxiety. Nobody likes that. Oh, is he going to yell at me again? I'm not doing this right? And then I'm going to go home and go, do I even want to come back there? I didn't like that training. And so we want to be patient. We all mess up. We don't forget how it was like to mess up when we first started. We didn't know all this information. So motivate. I messed up the 10th time. It's like, hey, you know what? I messed up 12. You're already 2 ahead of me, right? So we're motivating. We've got to be able to give feedback. It's hard for us as leaders to give feedback, let alone our hourlies. And so we just tell them. We use RISE, right? Just a quick little thing. Recall, identify, right? Show the impact and elevate. And I always tell my team, once you see that they've done something, you need to sit and talk with them. We're going to recall the scene, right? Then we're going to identify the incident. What happened? Then after what happened, what's the impact? Was it a positive or was it a negative? That's all we're going to say. This is what happened. And then at the end, we're going to elevate. If it was a positive, that was awesome. Keep doing that. And now let me teach you something else. If it was a negative, hey, I know you're going to get it next time, but you tried and you did really well. So let's try again. And then also try that. You can always add something else while you're training. But once we get to shadowing, that's a big thing too, where you're shadowing. How does that look when you're shadowing someone? When someone's shadowing me, they're going to watch me, but I'm going to guide them. And so if I'm worried about the greet today or that, well, hey, we're going to focus on greet. Now watch this. Now watch that. And I'm going to hit those highlights. And then at some point, I'm going to have to shadow them. I'm going to have to watch them. And how does that look? Am I hip to hip, holding their arm so that they're embarrassed? And it's like, give me some room. No, we're going to sit down and we're going to tell them how that's going to be. Hey, this is how it's going to look today. I'm going to stand back. I'm not going to be next to you. You're going to be on your own. But I will come in and help if you ask, if safety's on the line, right? I'll come in and help. If it's a detriment to the business, I'm going to come in, but I'm going to let you make some mistakes because I make mistakes every day. And I want you to get used to making mistakes. And I'll help you with those at the end. We'll sit down and we'll talk about it and we'll go over it. But I'm not going to beat you up on the floor unless I have to jump in. Or I might get really busy. I'll just quickly switch. Hey, it's getting busy. Switch and watch, and then we'll switch back. And so we're going to talk to them. We're going to tell them how it's going to be so that they're not embarrassed. They're ready to go. They're like, okay, good. This is what the reverse shadow looks like. Thank you. I know he's right there, and I know if I need him, I'm going to ask for him, but he's not going to embarrass me. I love this. And then that's it. And then finally, the last thing that we're going to do in training is track progress, right? So we write down all the stuff after the shadowing, and then we talk to that team member afterwards. We don't just send them home, or we don't say, okay, go home, let's get home, and let's talk about it tomorrow morning. That team member is scared. They're like, okay, did I do good? Did I not do good? Do I want to come back today? I don't even know what's going on. Or we sit down and we talk with them. We nurture them. We tell them, hey, that was great today. We're going to focus on this and this tomorrow. And they know exactly what they're going to do when they come back. Now, the big thing is, after training's over, we want to still train them every day with pre-shifts. But with those new team members, we want to track them. We want to track the next 90 days. And so that's what those questions are down there, 90-day benchmarks. One is for, if you're an owner, one is for your leaders, one box. One is for front of house staff, and one is for back of house staff. On your own, I want you guys to write down what you would want out of those team members in the next 90 days. That's going to be for you, right? And you just put a bunch of stuff. And so whenever you have a team member, whether it be a leader, front of house, or back of house, and they're done, and you're through training, I want you to put, what do I need from them in 90 days? And you just make a gigantic list. And then you compartmentalize it. You go, okay, what do I want to hit in the first 30? Now the next 30 and the next 30. And we're going to check in with them every 30 days until that 90 days. And then after we're done with the 90 days, it ain't over. We're still teaching every day. We're still going to teach every single day. And I want you all to think about this when you're training people. What should I be training? How should I be training? How should I be hiring? It doesn't matter who you hire. It doesn't matter if you hire a cashier, if you hire a pizza maker in the back. You should be hiring your replacement. Because at some point, you need to continually move up and you need to develop. And so what I always want you to think is when you're hiring someone, does this person have a chance to be a general manager, a manager? No? Do I really want them in here? Are they going to be motivated? Is this someone that I see? And so think about that. So when you look at every team member there and you wonder like, okay, I only have 2 team members. Perfect. I'm going to make these team members my next general managers. Everybody in the building. Like I can give those 2 team members everything that I have. And then that way, let's say I go on vacation where maybe another leader leaves or I have to leave. They can watch the store. There's good supervisors. They know everything. Or let's say I move on. Hey, Steve moved on, but guess what? We got 2 Steves. Let's pick one. Pick any of them. He's left up millions. Everybody here's a Steve, right? Everybody here, because if they weren't, Steve found a way to either develop or get rid of them because he's not going to waste his time. And so I want you to think about that when you're training, okay? And when you're picking your trainers, I want you to think, how are they training? Watch them. Make sure that that training is great because you only get one chance. You go through, we always say, right, 7 days of training, they're going to put things away, but you get one chance to set the standards. If you're done with training, you're like, oh, he's a little, well, how's he going to be in a month? How's he going to be in 2 months? That was just his first 5-7 days. He better be perfect after that because all we do is we just get less and less over time. And that's why we pre-shift and we keep building them up.
People said unconditional hospitality or hospitality in general, getting that down, connecting with our staff, making our staff happy. And all it takes is investment. You invest in your time into your employees. You take the time to know their name, know their goals, know their mission, take the time to see what kind of mood they're in, what temperament they're in, care. Honestly, care, because that's all we want them to do is care. I want you to care about the job. I want you to care about the experience, the guest experience. I want you to care. How do you lead by example? I'm going to show you that I care about you. And I'm going to make sure that you know that. And if you're not, again, then I'll do the training and the coaching. And if it's not working out, then we're going to start slowly showing you the door because we only accept A players here. Outside of that, guess what? I have your freaking back. I have your back. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that you have a good environment to work in, the tools to exceed at your job. I'm going to have your back and take care of you, but I need you to hold up your end of the bargain at the same time. And that's all I'm asking. I'm going to put in just as much work as you are. That's fair, right? You guys think that's fair?
Yes, sir.
You guys think that's fair?
Yes, sir.
You guys think you take action tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Truly, action tomorrow. Right now. Yes. Can I get one more? Yes, chef.
Yes, sir.
Can I get 1 out of 10? Yes, chef.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, let's take freaking action. Let's change people's lives. Let's also change our businesses, change our own lives, and see the impact because you guys have full control. It doesn't take more money. It just takes more effort. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Yes, chef on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, chef. So we just got done with Curry Pizza House Advanced Leadership Summit, and this is an interesting one because it was 50 franchisees, so they're all owners, so it's a completely different mentality. They have, focuses on owning the business, operating the business, but a big problem they have is giving the guests the best experience possible. They want to become the Chick-fil-A of their field, and they have an amazing product. The food's freaking phenomenal, and obviously they've been super successful in all their locations. I never thought I'd say this, but Indian food mixed with pizza, that hybrid sounds so crazy, but it works. Probably one of the best pizzas I've ever had. You gotta get the wings. Like, first of all, they're baked, not fried. Best lemon pepper I've ever had. We had a lot of breakthroughs. I was really happy because, again, these are all owners, right? They're not leaders, they're not managers, they're not hourly employees. These are owners that are entrepreneurs focusing on the guest experience and focusing on creating the best employee experience. Because at the end of the day, if you really want to have your guests have the best experience, who's delivering that? It's your employees. And what do you need to do? You have to give them the best experience. You have to give them the best work environment. We need to take care of our employees. We need to make sure that we're coaching our employees, that we're connecting with our employees, that we're giving them a place where they want to come into work. That's a huge difference. Again, they're just another brand that wants to take it to the next level. They want to have a differentiator, and also they want to have brand value where it's not just, yes, we have this amazing product, but we also have an amazing experience.